Hello YouTube, Bladder81 here again, this time with another computer. It's a brand that you come and don't see on YouTube. There are some videos, but not as not much content as the Dell, HP and others computers. This one, it's made by Fujitsu, not Fujitsu Systems, just Fujitsu. This is their low cost or budget workstation. It's a Fujitsu Celsius, and the model is a Celsius 3380. Let's take a quick tour. Up here there's a small display to show you many information: Ethernet, power, model name, IP addresses, date, time. It has a lot of functions on this display. It doesn't show all. It has a small line here which will change this with whatever settings you place on the BIOS. Here on the front we have TVRW, power button with internal power light. That gray is to indicate where is the power button. You have a multi-car reader, two USB 2.0s, headphone jack and microphone. There's another slot to place another stuff if you want to. There's a Fujitsu logo. Here's the intake. On this left side there's nothing. On the right side it's the door. Not the door, but the panel, the side panel with the intake or outtake. On the back there's a power supply. There's a huge outtake part. We have audio, in, out, two PS2 boards, mouse and keyboard, DVI, serial, display port, a total of 8 SATA 2 ports, one 5R400 and a gigabyte Ethernet card. In here is a upgraded GPU. This original came with a Core i5 661 for the socket 1156. Yes, the budget model Intel launched, but they also launched a Core i5 700 series, 800 series to this socket for a cheaper system gaming. But this one is of course it's a workstation. You press this, just like Dell's. Pull this up. You do get a little schematic on this sticker. Here are the internals. You have this drive cage, hard drive cage movable. It can take up to 4 hard drives. In order to access, you unscrew this small screw, and I need a screwdriver. Plenty enough. Open it. I just grab these two middle ones and push it all this way. So you can see you can have 4 hard drives. This one it's a 500 gigabytes, 72 RPM. Take a look at the bottom and a part of the mechanism. Let's go way up here. Let me turn this around. There we go. Let me just get more light on the inside. So as you can see, very basic layout. Even the main chipset is uncovered. It doesn't need an heatsink. So on the top we have the power supply. Unfortunately, this is a proprietary. It's upside down, the sticker. But it basically maxes out at 300 watts. It can take a better GPU, I think. By being proprietary, you have that connector over there, and all this is for the sensors or additional power. The rest of connectors I think is normal ATX. You see the bottom with the fan and the front panel I/O. There's a chip there. You have 2 PCIs, one PCI 16, but electrically I think is I think is 8 or 16. I don't remember. Another PCI, and a PCI 1X, and a 16 PCI Express. The graphics card right now it's the infamous GeForce GT 640 with a whopping 4 GB of DDR3. Well, in terms of chipset was an upgrade since Nvidia was rebranding the GT 430 and 440 for years on this price, less 100 euros. But unfortunately, the DDR3 on this model did not did give a good performance, but the memory DDR3 did cut the performance. There's a CMOS battery, an internal USB. There's the USB for the memory card reader. There's a SATA, 6 SATA ports. On the left lower is a hard drive, and on the top right is the optical drive. You see various connectors. Here's the CPU heatsink, and below that shroud is another fan. On the I/O there's another fan. So this system it not only cools the expansion cards but also the hard drives. Now the CPU here, it was the best one I could find for the socket 1156, but it's a Xeon. It's a Xeon X3460. It's a 4-core, 8-thread. It's the same specs of the Core i7 860, but it's a Xeon. Here's the RAM, 8 GB of DDR3 ECC. There's the optical drive, and it has a built-in speaker. In terms of performance, it's okay. I do run the Counter-Strike at 900p or lowest and low, pretty much fine. As you can see, this is a very big case because of the hard drives. Now it's time to close it. Let's put the second cover on. I'll show you the mechanism. At the bottom part, it pushes. It's a little bit tricky to close this with one hand, of course. There we go. As you can see, you can place an intake or outtake fan on the other side to help cool the hard drives better. Let me plug everything in. So I'm going to pause it. Okay, I'm back. And one thing about these systems, when you plug the power plug or switch on the power system on the power supply, it powers up for basic diagnostics. You think it's power on, but no, it's power on, but it's making very basic diagnostics. There, now it shuts down, which means apparently everything is fine. So you power here. I will show you the display. Here's it checking everything, so you can know what is the problem. There you go. On the bottom part, it's power and the Ethernet. And there's the hard drive. As you can see, it switch. Whenever you go to the BIOS, you can change what you want to, the IP address, serial number, a lot of stuff. Here we are at home. In some games, of course, if you don't have AVX, the games won't run. This is maxed out at SSE 4.2. So games that you want to use more recent, it won't play. On this one, I think there was one person, but I don't think I think it was French. I can't remember, or German, that made a video about this computer. I didn't see nowhere else with a video with this computer. I need to install the inspector for better performance. There you go. Intel Xeon X3460. It's a lean field core. It's basically the it's a Westmere core, but a cut down version to be placed on the cheaper 1156 socket. As you can see, base clock of 2.8. It maxes out at 3.4 or 3.3. In this instructions, as you can see, it maxes out at SSC 4.2. There's 4 cores, 8 threads with 8 megabytes of L3 cache. So it doesn't changes up until it goes up to the Coffee Lake CPUs. No, Coffee Lake, no, sorry. It was before, up until that. Mainboard, there's Fujitsu, there's a model number, PCI Express 2. The soft bridge uses the Intel 3450. It has the latest BIOS, PCI Express 2. Here's the RAM, dual channel, with 2 gigabytes each. Here's the SPD made by Samsung. Here's the graphics card. Here's a better info with the GPU-Z or the graphics card. GT 640, Kepler architecture, 16 ROPs, 32 TMUs, shares 384 unified. It's only the X11 compliance, 128-bit DDR3 with 4 gigabytes of RAM, which was a lot by the time, and it didn't make a lot of sense, especially on the DDR3 bus. But since this was most likely to be a graphics card for multiple monitors, it helped a lot in some stuff. It supports Vulkan, OpenCL, CUDA, Direct Compute, DirectML, OpenGL 4.6. I don't know if I've updated the computer with the latest patches and updates. In terms of games, VR chat, I have the OG Shadow Warrior, and I think it's 720p with low medium. It's okay. If I had a DDR5 graphics card, it would play a lot better. We're still waiting for the car prices to come down, especially here in Portugal. It's going to take a little while for people to see. This is 900p, normal, medium. and low. I don't play this game for a few months now. Sorry for that. The GPU, what I would like to install in here would be like 1050, RX 550, or X 560, somewhere in the lines. As you can see, with no not much happening, you get a good performance. I need to install MSI Afterburner. It's a very fun game to play. I did play the first one from 1997. Now I can now I need to kill something to remove the shield. I think this game did a lot better than the Duke Nukem Forever. Let's exit. If you guys didn't play this game, you should play. So the only upgrades that this computer needs to be a little better is the GPU and the RAM. went to 16 gigabytes of DDR3 and a better GPU, and to play old games and some esports titles, it's completely fine. Of course, unless you take the power draw of the CPU, since it's a 4 nanometer CPU, it consumes more power than a Sandy Bridge. It could be equal, but sometimes the CPU can push a lot more power than the Sandy Bridge one compared to the Core i5, the 2600 non-K model. Here are the definitions on this computer. 900p, very low. And of course, with the settings, the game runs a little better than the on the Mac Pro on the previous video or next video. I don't know which one I'm going to upload first. But yes, having an hard drive, it takes a little more than the SSD to load up the games. I was initially thinking making this computer my Windows XP because it has a lot of cache, plenty of CPU horsepower, and RAM. So overall, it's a good old computer. Let me out before it starts. So thank you for watching and see you guys on the next video.